We need to have a conversation that is going to feel like a cold shower. It is the middle of 2026, and depression has become the most popular word in our collective vocabulary. We wear it like a heavy, gray cloak. We use it to explain why we can't get out of bed, why we can't finish our scripts, why the Minecraft server feels empty, and why the save button in Premiere Pro feels like a mountain we can't climb. We've turned a clinical diagnosis into a personality trait, an aesthetic, and most dangerously a shield. But I want to offer you a perspective that the internet won't give you. You might not be depressed. You might just be living a life that is biologically and psychologically designed to make you feel like a ghost. You aren't broken. You are just reacting to a broken environment. You aren't a malfunctioning machine. You are a high-performance engine that has been left to idle in a dark garage for so long that the battery has gone flat. Let's look at your symptoms through the lens of your reality. You feel numb. You feel like the world is desaturated, like someone turned down the volume on your emotions. You have no motivation to start new projects, and even your hobbies, the things that used to make your heart race, now feel like chores. But consider the biology of the cave. If you take a healthy, vibrant lion and put it in a small, concrete cage with no sunlight, no stimulation, and no hunt, that lion will eventually stop moving. It will lay in the corner, its eyes will go dull, and it will lose interest in everything. Is that lion depressed? In a clinical sense, maybe. But the cure for that lion isn't a pill. It's the savannah. It's the sun. It's the chase. You are currently living in a digital cage. If you spend 16 hours a day in a room with the curtains drawn, illuminated by the blue light of a screen, scrolling through short-form content that provides a cheap dopamine hit every 3 seconds, your brain is going to shut down. It is a defense mechanism. You feel numb because you have overstimulated your reward system to the point of exhaustion. You aren't sad, you are fried. The digital world of 2026 is a dopamine minefield. Every notification, every like, every new video is a tiny spark of pleasure that you didn't have to earn. When you get all your wins from a screen, your brain loses the ability to find joy in the slow, difficult process of real-world achievement. Why would you spend 20 hours editing a complex, no-voice aesthetic video when you can get 100 hits of dopamine in 10 minutes on a scrolling app? This creates a motivation deficit. You feel like you can't do anything because your brain is waiting for the easy reward. It has forgotten how to hunt. This feeling of being stuck is what we often mislabel as depression. It's not that you can't move. It's that your brain has decided that movement isn't worth it compared to the instant gratification of the raw. You aren't depressed. You are just stuck in a low-power mode because you've optimized your life for comfort instead of challenge. There is also the identity shield. Sometimes, we embrace the label of being depressed because it's a safer alternative to the fear of being average or unproductive. If you say, "I can't finish my magazine project because I'm depressed," you get sympathy. It's a valid excuse. But if you say, "I haven't finished it because I'm afraid I'm not good enough," or because I've wasted the day on my phone, that hurts. That requires accountability. We use the language of mental health to protect our egos from the friction of reality. We tell ourselves we have a chemical imbalance because it's easier to swallow than the idea that we have a lifestyle imbalance. But chemicals don't exist in a vacuum. Your brain chemistry is a reflection of your actions, your environment, and your thoughts. If you change the input, the output has no choice but to follow. Think about your creative work, the Lona storyline, the world building, the Predator's organization. When you are deep in that flow state, when you are actually building something, does the depression feel as heavy? Usually, it doesn't, because in those moments, you are fulfilling your purpose as a creator. You are an architect, not a consumer. The feeling of depression often arrives during the gaps, the moments when you stop creating and start consuming. It thrives in the silence between projects. It feeds on the rot. If you find that your depression disappears when you are working on something you love, then it isn't a permanent part of your soul. It's a symptom of inactivity. It is the rust that forms on a machine that isn't being used. The cure for rust isn't thinking about the rust. It's turning the gears. In 2026, we are also suffering from comparison trauma. You are constantly looking at the finished products of the most successful people on earth and comparing them to your behind-the-scenes footage. You see a creator who seems to have it all: the views, the gear, the perfect life, and you feel a crushing weight of inadequacy. You think, why bother starting? I'll never be that. This constant downward social comparison creates a feeling of hopelessness that mimics depression. But you are comparing your day 1 to their day 1000. You are looking at a polished render and forgetting about the hundreds of crashes, errors, and cringe drafts that came before it. You aren't hopeless, you are just impatient. You are trying to see the whole map before you've even left the starting town. So, how do you break the seal? You have to stop treating your depression like a guest you have to entertain and start treating it like a signal that your environment needs to change. You don't wait for the feeling to go away so you can start working. You start working so that the feeling has no room to stay. You have to implement the physical first rule. Open the windows. Let the 2026 sun hit your skin. Move your body until you sweat. Prove to your brain that you are still an inhabitant of the physical world. This isn't self-care in the soft sense. It's a hard reset for your biology. You cannot think your way out of a physiological rut. You have to move your way out. Start treating your screen time as a tool, not a destination. Use Premiere Pro and Photoshop as your weapons of choice, but don't let the apps use you. Set a timer. Work for an hour, then leave the room. Break the feedback loop of the rot. When you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your life. You'll find that when you stop feeding the numbness with constant digital noise, your real emotions start to return. They might feel overwhelming at first: anger, frustration, or fear, but those are real feelings. They are the signs that you are waking up. They are the pins and needles you feel when blood starts flowing back into a limb that has fallen asleep. It hurts, but it means you are still alive. You are Arthur Radish. You are a student of history, chemistry, and biology. You are a creator of mythologies and a builder of worlds. These are not the traits of someone who is broken. These are the traits of someone who is powerful, but currently unplugged. The world wants you to stay in the rot because a depressed person is a perfect consumer. A depressed person buys things to feel better, scrolls to stay distracted, and never challenges the status quo. But a creator is a threat. A creator builds their own world and invites others into it. Stop asking yourself why you feel this way and start asking yourself, when was the last time you did something difficult? When was the last time you were outside? When was the last time you worked on a project until your eyes were tired, not from scrolling, but from focusing? The answer to your depression isn't found in a deeper analysis of your sadness. It's found in the radical reclamation of your time and your agency. You hold the brush. You own the code. You are the architect of the Lona story. So why are you letting the rot write the ending to your own life? Stand up. Open the curtains. The savannah is waiting, and it's time to start the chase. The rot ends the moment you decide to be a creator again.